John Smith's Cup not too long ago, and also told us about his next bid for big race success with the progressive Jalawi. Ismail, we've seen Jalawi educating this beautiful yard here. Tell us a bit about how it came about, you being here.
I want to say thanks for Sheikh Highness Sheikh Mohammed Al Maktoum. He liked me to be training in UK. I came here in 2012. I started with 25 horses, and educate the first one was in 2012. I feel it. He's not 7 years old. He's 3 years old now.
He must be a really special horse for you, Ismail, because, of course, he won the Cambridgeshire for you, which is a huge race to win. And he's won again at the weekend. What are we now, 3 years on? Is he a really special horse for you?
Actually, in this stables, I have this is the one is special with me, educate. He ran very well, and I hope I will bring him back to Cambridgeshire this year to run.
So that would be the plan now, would it? Just reflect upon that win that time ago, 3 years ago, 2013, I think it was. How big a win was that for you? And do you really still remember that day as if it was yesterday?
I cannot forget that day because really everybody, the group was with me. From the owner and the chairman Said Attire and Dr. Ali, and they was very happy. And I was really very happy because this is the race, the biggest race I was winning. Now is the second, the biggest race in UK I won it.
Yeah, exactly. Tell us a bit about his character, Ismail. He's got something unique in his box.
Yeah, he been with us because I know him. He is the one, he like to keep the neighbor with him. You have to see him. Because we have a small window inside the box. And if he will see it, he will be more relaxed when he saw the neighbor with him, who's the neighbor.
So he knows he's not on his own?
Yeah, he knows he's not in there.
So he's gone up again £4 for his win. That means I think he was 104 when he won the Cambridgeshire, be 112 now. But do you think what you've seen this season, that he could go back to a race like that and be competitive of 112?
The first race when he ran, he came second. He was 94, and they take him to 12 higher, and he was 108. And now today they give him 112 from 108. I think okay. The weight is he carried the weight and he won it. He carried 9.7 and he won it. He's the one he can carry weight.
Let's talk Jalawi. Are you impressed with him physically?
Jalawi is really, if you will see the first race, how he ran, he didn't run from 2 years. And how we work him, I was really very happy with him in the starting season. And when he ran, everybody, they think he will be not winning. And he won it easy. The second race, we take him a little bit higher, and he came second. He's always like that, you know. When he's 3 years old, he was winning and second, and now he's 5 years old. He's came first and second, and I think he's improving.
Just tell us about the problems he had. Why we didn't see him for such a long time.
The problem we have is every day something is coming. You know, the horse is getting old. Sometimes you get the injuries, and sometimes you have the hoof problems. But we actually work hard with him, and really he's improving.
Were you happy with what you saw at Sandown?
He should win that race, really. If you will see it, how by Nick, there is nothing. If you will see from the camera, you will see he's winning. But you know, that is the the race. But I think he should win that day.
Just touch upon Goodwood as a track, because we make so much of it being a unique track, a very tight track where it's easy to find trouble in running. How much emphasis do you place on the track and the draw at a place like Goodwood? How worried about it are you?
See, my worry was if I go to the straight, he don't like it, Jalawi, because we was working him in Newmarket, in Cambridge Road. Always we have to change it. We don't take him in the grass because he don't like it straight. He's the one he like to be in the bend. And starting gate is not, we don't have any problem with it. But the main thing we have to get in the bend.
Back here at the Jugged Hare, John Baker joins me to talk about this new initiative. Of course, John, we've got the Carlisle race car, which we've had for 6 years now.
6 years now,
correct?
yeah.
And now we've got Haydock added to it with this £20,000 incentive. Tell us about how that decision came about.
Well, I was lucky enough to be involved at the start of the Carlisle all-ladies card, which was a big challenge to get on. A lot of people said it'll never work. It's in its 6th year now, so obviously it has, which we're delighted about. We do a Grand Women's Summit which promotes women in business and sport at the Grand National Meeting on Ladies' Day. It just felt a natural progression to us that we wanted to maximise the Carlisle opportunity for ladies. And so Haydock, it's on Channel 4, so it's covered on terrestrial TV. It just looked like a new opportunity and obvious thing for us to do. It's a cracking race day there at Haydock. Big crowd, expect about 15,000, so what better showcase than to use that Haydock race card to put on a ladies' race worth £20,000, richest in the calendar. So it just seemed like a natural progression to us in terms of what we're trying to do in terms of promoting women in business and sport across the North West.
And the individual jockey who is successful in that Haydock race, having won a race at Carlisle, just tell us about that financial incentive, exactly what that could mean and what it would be used for.
Yeah, so it's £20,000. It's not a cash award. What we will do is we'll sit down with the winning lady jockey and we'll discuss with them, what opportunities they want to take in their career. So we may be able to support them on some of those things, whether it's a learning or developmental thing. So whether they want to do a business course at university or something like that, a diploma, whatever it might be. And we will support them and work with them throughout the year and use that £20,000 to hopefully develop them in their career in the sport, but also hopefully maybe prepare them for their career beyond the sport too.
I'm just going to go into the bones of how it actually works to sort of formulate it in my head as well. It's much simpler than I'm making it sound, I'm sure, but 7 races at Carlisle.
Yes.
So you could have 7 female riders, all with a chance at Haydock of winning that £20,000 prize, which is not a cash prize. And I guess that's how you hope it would work. But equally, there may only be 4 different winning female riders on the night at Carlisle, and therefore they would go forward to contest it.
Yes.
Is there a chance at Haydock there will be a rider riding in that race who hasn't already won one of the races at Carlisle, or is that not necessarily how
Yes, so the race is just an open race. So right. Yeah, we could have however many was 16, 17,
absolutely.
12 runners, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, however many it is, 7, or it could be anything. If someone wins all 7 races at Carlisle,
exactly. Someone does a Frankie, so there you go. And then hopefully one of those winning riders from Carlisle will go on and win that race at Haydock, and it's a great opportunity for them. And like you say, on terrestrial TV as well, that would be a huge thing for them.
We'd like to think it's a huge thing. I think it's important, going from grassroots of the sport right the way through to being a top jockey. It's important that we give the opportunities and give these jockeys, these great talents, a platform in which to promote themselves and also give us the opportunity to work with them and sort of hopefully help them in their career and progress their career with them.
There were joyous scenes on the Rowley Mile in May for Frankie Dettori and Hugo Palmer as they captured the Guineas, of course, with Galileo Gold. We spoke to both about the progress of Galileo Gold as he bids to win the Jewel on the Downs, the Sussex Stakes.
It's got a very good cruising speed. It's got acceleration and it stays the mile really well. Apart from the hiccup that we had in Ireland, perhaps the ground and not getting the best of runs, but he proved to the world that he was a worthy Guinness winner, and he franked his form, and it was a good performance.
You mentioned the ground. Still, there was a bit of digging it at Ascot, but do you think on really quick ground that's when this horse is going to be at his absolute best?
I think on good ground it'd be best for him. I'm looking forward to riding him on good ground, to be honest with you.
I've just always felt, in a strange sort of way, the horse has never quite been given the credit that he deserves. Even last year, after he won the Vintage, Matthew Tester, the 2-year-old handicapper, rated him quite low and then dropped him standing in his box a couple of weeks later. He rated him even lower, and I rang him up, offended. I said, obviously, I'm never going to run the horse in a handicap. I've always believed the horse to be better than everyone else has thought he is. And I think that was borne out by the fact that he started at 7-1 for the St James's Palace. If I was a betting man, I would have had a really big bet on him.
We had the plan, me and Hugo, and we just execute the plan. And you need to be at the right place at the right time. You need a bit of luck, but you also need a good horse. And a lot of emphasis was on my ride at Ascot, but it's the horse who did the running, and if it wasn't for him, then I wouldn't be able to do it.
We had the worst of the draw, or conventionally speaking, we had the worst of the draw. We were drawn widest of all on a round track, which conventionally is not where you want to be. And Galileo Gold's gate speed and tactical early speed, which we see so many races won that way, particularly, think of Wesley Ward 2-year-old, those early 10 strides, how they put the race to bed almost then. And I think in many ways that's what Galileo Gold allowed Frankie to do. He got him to take that position, and the Gurkha didn't have that speed. I'd be surprised if Frankie wanted to ride him differently to how he rode him at Ascot and in the Guineas at Newmarket. I think Galileo Gold's ability to travel and the speed he has is what really, I think, marks him out as top class, and he's always had that. This is, I keep saying, a horse that was beaten first time out as a 2-year-old because he ran too keen over 6 furlongs. And that was, watching him even at Ascot, he was still keen in behind Simric at Ascot. And I just remember thinking to myself, win, lose or draw, I'm very glad we didn't go to Epsom.
I'm sure that there will be pacemakers from either team, us, Sheikh Kandam and Coolmore, with a strong run race, that will suit everyone. The plus side that we know, he's raced on the track last year and won, so we know the track is not going to be an issue. And I'm taking nothing for granted. It's going to be a tough race, and he's going to reproduce his best form to win it. But it's a challenge that I'm looking forward to.
There'll be a lot of pressure. It's a £1 million Group 1, but we're going there as a dual Group 1 winning, a dual Group 1 winner and a classic winner to boot. So I suppose that there's less pressure in some respects because of what he's already achieved. Whereas this time last year, there was a lot of pressure because I'd stuck my neck out and said to the Al Shakab team, I think this horse can win the Vintage Stakes and should be bought. And added to which, I was there on honeymoon when the Vintage Stakes was run, so if I was wrong, I wasn't even there to answer for my actions. So my wife has a very good picture of me looking very nervous watching it on Racing UK in a restaurant in Italy at the time.
Racing UK anywhere?
I think it was.
Excellent. Yeah. Good. Well, that's it for this week's This Racing Live. Don't forget, you can watch all the action from the King George meeting at Ascot on Racing UK, as you can Ladies' Nights at Carlisle Races on August the 1st and the subsequent £20,000 race at Haydock on that following Saturday. We will see you again next week.
Last year for the Sky Bet Go Racing in Yorkshire Festival, Shinners and Hannity took us on a cycling odyssey around Yorkshire's top-class racecourses and beautiful countryside. Now Shinners is back in God's own county, and this time he's under canvas. And Niall has found him a confirmed southerner to initiate into the ways of the north.
Who have you got for me?
It's Tom Stanley.
Here he is. Where are we camping?
Just parked down there.
Lovely, mate. All the best, sir.
Am I right to jump in? Crikey, all right. God, Benny. Oof. Better.
Come on in. I've got you a present because you've been so nice to me every morning.
Oh, have you, mate? Thank you. What have you got me?
You're telling me that Haribo is locally made.
Pontefract.
Go to the shop and prove it, and there it is there, black and white.
There we go.
What does that say?
P.O. Box 1, Pontefract, WF8 1WX.
England.
WF, where's that?
WF. Watford?
Wakefield.
Oh, is it?
Wakefield.
Oh, born in Watford.
Watford, brilliant.
There we go.
There we go, yeah. This
in.
is proper Pontefract fodder.
Yeah.
Every morning when I wake up, I think, what shall I have for my breakfast? I know, I'll have a bit of super mix.
Yeah, you know they're French, don't you?
No, they're not.
Mate, there's Haribo, they're French.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they're French.
No, the bloke who open the big store in Pontefract. Harry Bovril he was called, but they couldn't fit it all in. Brilliant. Thanks for that, mate.
Favourite flavour?
All of them, to be honest. All of them. They all taste exactly the same.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
Brilliant. Thanks for that.
Right.
Appreciate it.
Go back to my chair.
Thanks, mate.
Michael, shall we find out who today's guest in a tent is? Hey! It's Dougie Costello!
Dougie!
Come over, Dougie.
Morning, Dougie.
Morning.
Sleep well?
Yeah, I was okay.
Sleep
Could have
all right, yeah.
slept better.
Yeah, ride out a few lots just in between naps.
That's easy, isn't it? You can ride out a few, wake up in the morning and go back at it again.
Easy.
Easy.
Dougie, when did you first move up to Yorkshire?
I moved across about 15, 16 years ago from the west of Ireland to John Quinn.
So that was when it started 15, 16 years ago,
yeah.
and then you've been up here solidly since, so you moved around a bit?
We
back
moved
down south?
around a bit. We didn't have any jumpers in Mr. Quinn's, so he got me a job in Mary Reevely's in Gisborne, which isn't that far. It's about an hour across the tops. Spent 2 seasons there, and then came back here to with John Quinn when we had 4 or 5 jumpers, and then freelanced around for a couple of years.
And as somebody that's obviously grew up back in Ireland and then has lived down south for a bit and up here, what is it you like about the way of life up here?
The way of life up here, there's tight. The Yorkshire people, I know, it's a lot like home. They're good people.
You ever been camping?
Bits and pieces, if you want to call it camping.
This is the first time then, and this will be your first time, Dougie, to play the Kettle Queen. Right, Dougie.
Yep.
This is the bit you've really been waiting for. You have 1 minute to answer as many questions as you can, no cheating, as many questions as you can on the Yorkshire area and yourself, all right?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Which Yorkshire track have you ridden most winners at this year?
York.
Correct. What year did you win the Swinton on Lesling Taylor?
Leslie Swinton, 2012.
No.
11.
2007. What month and year did you join Twitter?
2010.
No, 2011. Who is clerk of the course at Wetherby?
John Joe Sanderson.
Correct. Translate this Yorkshire phrase into English. My dad's got a jag. My dad's got a jag. Which jockey is this an anagram of? Lotion thy man.
Lotion thy man.
Lotion thy man. He rides around here quite a lot.
Quite a lot.
Yeah.
Tony Hamilton.
Correct, Tony Hamilton. Which trainer is this an anagram of? Finland Feud. She's in Midland.
She's in Midland. Shoot.
And Duffield. What day of the year is celebrated as Yorkshire Day?
Every day.
Yeah, I like it, but no, 1st of August. In 2012-13, did you ride more winners for Neil Mulholland or Nicky Richards?
Nicky Richards.
Correct, you rode 6-5 for Neil. That is it, your time. That wasn't bad.
Oh, that was all right.
Oh, yeah,
that was all right.
pretty good. Right, you can earn 2 extra bonus points now.
Yeah.
I know you want them. Because Mr. Shinners is going to play karaoke commentary.
Thanks, Tom. Dougie, can you guess this race? Franklin, there is an angler, he's a worthy contemporary, he's all glass, he's all gold, he's turning, Terry's all gold, Franklin wins the thing and extends his winning run. Any ideas, Dougie?
Not a chance. Terry's Angel, something, there was Terry in there, I thought it was Mech Angel in there.
It was Frankel winning the champion takes.
Oh, yeah.
This is how it should have sounded. Frankel, there is an angler, he's a worthy contemporary, he's all glass, he's all gold, he's turning, Terry's all gold.
Dougie, thanks very much. 4
You're
points.
welcome.
Happy with that. That was a toughie, to be fair. Toughie
He
from
was
him.
bad. He's been too long up here, didn't he?
Mate, thanks for coming down.
Cheers, man.
Enjoyed
Thank you.
that. And also, have to say, massive congratulations.
Cheers. Thanks very much.
Cheers,
Thank you.
Dougie.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Thanks,
Dougie.
mate. Cheers.
Night, Shinners.
Yeah, night, Tom.
Chelpin. In talking. As in stop chelping and get some work done. Chelpin. Should stop chelping.
Tinder and kindling must be kept dry. Is that Tinder? All right.
Hello and welcome to this week's This Racing Live. Here we are at the Jugged Hare in East London, where the Jockey Club Racecourses Northwest are launching a new initiative for female riders. Here is where else we've been this week. Hot off the back of Ascot is the Qatar Goodwood Festival, at which the usual highlight is the duel on the Downs in the Sussex Stakes. We caught up with Team Qatar, Hugo Palmer and Frankie Dettori, and Team Coolmore with Kevin Buckley. He's not a household name yet, but Ismail Mohammed hit the headlines recently when saddling Educates to win the John Smith's Cup, and he's looking for more glory at glorious Goodwood. Two key Irish raiders for the Qatar Goodwood Festival will be French Guineas winner the Gurkha and, of course, Oaks heroine Minding. They both fly the flag for Coolmore, and we spoke to Kevin Buckley as they prepare for the festival in the last week of July. Kevin, Minding, Nassau Stakes. How pleased are you with what she's achieved so far this year?
Delighted. I mean, she's lived up to expectations in the high esteem which Aidan and the team at Ballydole have always felt she was, you know, to do what she did at 2 and then continue at this year. I mean, it's been exceptional stuff. She's so exciting and incredibly high-tier filly.
What do you think about Goodwood and the Nassau Stakes might suit her? What might not suit her?
She's a very adaptable filly, as she's shown, you know, at Epsom, obviously, first and foremost. She acts on most types of ground. The distance will be fine, same as her last win. So there aren't too many negatives, really, all positives.
Are we in a position where we're looking at her and saying 10 might actually be her optimum trip? This is a filly, of course, has won an Oaks, but what do you think she's absolutely at her ultimate best at?
Well, you know, going back to Epsom, it was an exceptional performance, and that was the only question mark going into that race about stamina, because let's not forget she has a lot of speed on her dam side. But I suppose if you put a gun to my head and said, what's her optimum, I suppose, mile 2, yeah.
Just reflect on Epsom and the trouble in running she got, the way she overcame that and the way she still powered away at the finish. She proved her stamina, but ultimate class as well that day.
Totally and utterly. I mean, for any horse to act like that at Epsom and the little bit of trouble she got into and how she turned things around, it was extraordinary.
Was she very much, as a 2-year-old this time last year, in amongst the Ballydoles and the Coolmores, was she in your mind always likely to be the best of them, or were even a year ago to the day you're not completely sure that which filly was going to be the best of them?
Well, they were fairly evenly matched, and I think as we saw in the Moy Glare last year and then replicated in the English Guineas, you know, with herself and Ballydole and Alice Springs, you know, they were always there or thereabouts.
Just plotting the remainder of the season for her, were all to go well in the Nassau for Minding, what targets might there be on her agenda?
Not sure as yet, you know, but ultimately I'm sure she's going to be mixing it with the boys at some stage, so we'll have to be looking at those sort of races too.
The Gurkha will likely take on Galileo Gold again, and no doubt it will be billed as a bit of a duel. How do you see him faring back over a mile?
Yeah, I think he'd be much better. Might have just overstretched him a little bit at Sandown in the Eclipse. I think mile 2 fine, but that's obviously stiff, you know, up that hill, which maybe found him out a little bit from obviously an improving Hawkbill. So very pleased to bring him back to a mile, and he'll act around there, and we're really looking forward to the duel on the Downs.
He travelled very well at Sandown. Was it stamina that ultimately paid for him, do you think, on the day?
Probably taking that hill, that stiff hill at the finish just into consideration, yeah.
Reflect on the St James's Palace, if you can. Do you think that sluggish start ultimately cost him?
A combination of sluggish start and that great jockey Frankie Dettori from the front. The two combinations.
I'm sure you called him another name on the day, Kevin.
I can't say that today.
What are his strengths, the Gurkha? What are his real strengths going into a race like the Sussex?
Well, he's obviously proven a high-class winner of the French Guineas. he's versatile again, got a great mind, very relaxed in his race, got a good cruising speed and a good turn of foot, you know, so all the attributes. So hopefully they are all replicated at the end of this month.
And of course, he's a colt we didn't see until his 3-year-old season. How much has he learned in the races he's had so far, and how much does he still have to learn, do you think?
Well, that's a key point. It has been a steep learning curve for him, you know, because as you quite rightly say, he didn't race at 2 because obviously he had colic surgery on 2 occasions. So he is actually, in fact, lucky to be even around. So what he's done very quickly, and he's taken all that in his stride, is very important.
And just on racing style and the way he races, we saw, of course, he was ridden patiently because he was slowly away, predominantly in the St James's Palace. Looking at a race like Goodwood and looking at how you think Galileo Gold may or may not be ridden, and given the track of Goodwood, would there be something in mind to suggest you'd want to be prominent with him or ride him any differently? Were he quickly away?
Probably having him a little handier, I would say, but obviously that will ultimately be up to Aidan and Ryan to discuss on the day.
Back here at the Jugged Hare, Hayley Turner joins me, ambassador for the event being put on here. Hayley, tell us about the importance of these 2 race days coming up in August.
I think because at the moment there's so many jockeys kicking about that it just gives the girls a bit more of a leg up to get noticed, you know, get put on the big stage, and they can then perform and people can see what they can do, and hopefully that will spiral into bigger things for them eventually.
Is the financial side of it, the £20,000 initiative, a really big, important thing for the girls should one of them go on to win it, do you think?
Definitely. Basically, when I started, I didn't really get much help off anyone. Not even the racing schools were kind of pushing for the fitness, and you know, you'd have a little few days up at the racing school, but that was it. And if I'd had the help that they're getting now, even without this, you know, it would have helped me massively. So you can see through the girls that are coming at the moment how much more training they've had. So you've got the likes of Josephine Gordon coming through. She's only, you know, she's her first couple of years as apprentice. She's strong and she's, you know, very knowledgeable. Whereas it took me a few years to get as good as she is. So I think that, and obviously having a big prize to help, you know, if you win that, it's just only going to push you further and make you better. It's a great idea.
Do you think we've seen a shift in recent years of talented female jockeys rising through the ranks? We had Sammy Jo last year as well, of course. Do you think there are more of them around, say, than when you started riding?
There seems to be. I think that it's just the transition stage from being an apprentice to a professional, which is where we tend to lose them sometimes. But, you know, you've got the likes of Kathy Gannon, who can clearly ride, and she's competing in the big races with the lads, so it would be nice if we saw a bit more of that as well. But certainly the apprentices' standards have risen.
And do you think it's important for a young female jockey to make a stance as a young female jockey, or not? Do we overplay that perhaps too much, the sex difference? I
think that the media probably do overplay it. I don't think that the trainers or the owners do. I mean, people have always asked me what's it like being a woman in a man's world, and it's like people ask me all the time, but it's like, well, I don't get treated any differently to the guys. I do exactly the same job as they do, and if the trainers want a good jockey, the owners want a good jockey, whether it's male or female, they don't have a preference as to what sex they are. And I think it's more the media that look in that make a big deal about it.
But equally, it's something for the girls to really look forward to. 7-race card on August the 1st at Carlisle, and then going on to that £20,000 race where one of them to win it. They must be really excited about the possibility of winning.
It's a really fun day as well. It's something slightly different, and I mean, I've been the last couple of years, and it's been, you know, in the weighing room, we take over the lads area and we have a good laugh about it. The valets love it because the girls are all, you know, getting changed in where the lads are. They can't figure out who goes there out. They start arguing as to who's doing that meeting. So no, and it's great. And then it just gives the girls that are working really hard just to show what they can do, and hopefully it'll stick in a few people's memories for, you know, up and coming rides, you know, in the season.
Yeah, absolutely, sure it will. Particularly that race at Haydock should want them to go on and win that. So it'll be very exciting. Hayley, enjoy the evening at Carlisle and at Haydock. Thanks for your time.
I will. Thank you. Cheers.
Next up, I caught up with Ismail Mohammed, who only started training in Newmarket back in 2012, and it wasn't long before his first taste of big race success over here when he won the 2013 Cambridgeshire with Educate. He told us about his time with Educate and reflected on the horse's win in the John Smith's Cup not too long ago, and also told us about his next bid for big race success with the progressive Jalawi. Ismail, we've seen Jalawi educating this beautiful yard here. Tell us a bit about how it came about, you being here.
I want to say thanks for Sheikh Highness Sheikh Mohammed Al Maktoum. He liked me to be training in UK. I came here in 2012. I started with 25 horses, and Educate, the first one was in 2012. I feel it. He's not 7 years old, he's 3 years old now.
He must be a really special horse for you, Ismail, because, of course, he won the Cambridgeshire for you, which is a huge race to win. And he's won again at the weekend, what are we now, 3 years on? Is he a really special horse for you?
Actually, in this stables, I have this is the one is special with me, Educate. He ran very well, and I hope I will bring him back to Cambridgeshire this year to run.
So that would be the plan now, would it? Just reflect upon that win that time ago, 3 years ago, 2013, I think it was. How big a win was that for you? And do you really still remember that day as if it was yesterday?
I cannot forget that day because really everybody, the group was with me. From the owner and the chairman Said Attire and Dr. Ali, and they was very happy. And I was really very happy because this is the race, the biggest race I was winning. Now is the second, the biggest race in UK I won it.
Yeah, exactly. Tell us a bit about his character, Ismail. He's got something unique in his box.
Yeah, he been with us because I know him. He is the one, he like to keep the neighbor with him. You have to see him. Because we have a small window inside the box. And if he will see it, he will be more relaxed when he saw the neighbor one, who's the neighbor.
So he knows he's not on his own?
Yeah, he knows he's not on his own.
So he's gone up again £4 for his win. That means I think he was 104 when he won the Cambridgeshire, he'll be 112 now. But do you think what you've seen this season, that he could go back to a race like that and be competitive of 112?
The first race when he ran, he came second. He was 94, and they take him to 12 higher, and he was 108. And now today they give him 112 from 108. I think, okay, the weight is, he carried the weight and he won it. He carried 9.7 and he won it. He's the one he can carry weight. Let's
talk Jalawi. Are you impressed with him physically?
Jalawi is really, if you will see the first race, how he ran, he didn't run from 2 years. And how we work him, I was really very happy with him in the starting season. And when he ran, everybody, they think he will be not winning. And he won it easy. The second race, we take him a little bit higher, and he came second. He's always like that, you know. When he's 3 years old, he was winning and second, and now he's 5 years old. He's coming first and second, and I think he's improving.
Just tell us about the problems he had. Why we didn't see him for such a long time.
The problem we have is every day something is coming. You know, the horse is getting old. Sometimes you get the injuries, and sometimes you have the hoof problems. But we work hard with him, and really he's improving.
Were you happy with what you saw at Sandown?
He should win that race, really. If you will see it, how by Nick, there is nothing. If you will see from the camera, you will see he's winning. But you know, that is the the race. But I think he should win that day.
Just touch upon Goodwood as a track, because we make so much of it being a unique track, a very tight track where it's easy to find trouble in running. How much emphasis do you place on the track and the draw at a place like Goodwood? How worried about it are you?
See, my worry was if I go to the straight, he don't like it, Jalawi, because we was working him in Newmarket, in Cambridge Road. Always we have to change it. We don't take him in the grass because he don't like it straight. He's the one he like to be in the bend. And starting gate is not, we don't have any problem with it. But the main thing we have to get in the bend.